Match number 2 of the pay-per-view. Death Triangle against the Wayward Sons. The Elite. Surprised at this placement. I asked people throughout the week or the weekend, and it seemed to be either second from the top or opener. Those seemed to be the two options, and they went second.
The
spot Chris Jericho says you never want to be in on a pay-per-view.
Listen, going from the Eddie Kingston match onwards, like, this was an incredible hour of professional wrestling TV. And I guess if you're going to have anything try to top the cage match right afterwards, it would be the return of the Elite in...
They could have put this anywhere.
They could have put it anywhere, yeah. They could have put it, like, now, like, they could have had us take a 3-hour break for a press conference and then, like, done the match and, like...
Let's not get crazy. So, Death Triangle comes out. Pentagon Sans shirt.
Yeah, and Joker
showing off that upper body.
Well, good for him. Yes.
And then the lights go out in the arena, and we get the TikTok, and we get the dialogue up on the screen, and out to Kansas to carry on Wayward Son. The return of Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks, Don Callis, Michael Nakazawa. They all came out, and this crowd, they just ate them up. It was just a huge, huge reaction. And then the encore was Bucks, CM Punk, and Colt Cabana chants.
Yes, lots of that. First of all, the Kansas entrance. I mean, we had all, I think,
it sounds like they might continue using.
Yeah, we had all heard the reports of the trademarks. And then I thought they weren't. They were abandoning them. But either way, it was an awesome entrance. Like, I think it's the type of song that, like, can be kind of corny, but, like,
they're kind of corny.
The Elite are kind of corny. They've taken, like, kind of corny and, like, look at their facial hair, for crying out loud. Like, they've taken kind of corny and they've just owned it.
Dude, Kenny was, like, singing to the song as he entered the ring. It's like this has been many a shower tune for these three over the last 2 months.
It's a great party tune for a party atmosphere that AEW shows tend to be. Look at the success of Judas, Like, I mean, I don't know how much it costs. I'm imagining a pretty penny, but I hope they keep it.
Have you seen the new shirt they put out?
No.
They took, like, the AEW logo, and it's like with the A and the W removed, so it's just the E.
Oh, okay,
like the image.
It's the opposite of the image.
Yeah,
because the image, like, in the teasers, was the E missing.
Right. So now it's the E.
That's cool.
That thing's gonna sell like incredible.
Oh, excellent!
So
I love it.
I'm glad to hear that the Elite are gonna have a merchandise seller
right
around Christmas time.
Again?
Yes,
yeah, cool.
Good for them. Yeah. So yeah, this was they went right into the anti CM Punk chants, and then Colt Cabana was more lighter, but they were there at the beginning, and then everyone just got into it. The Bucks and the Lucha Brothers did this 4-way sequence, and they got a standing ovation, and from that point it was on. This was just this was unbelievable to watch live, and unbelievable to try and take notes for.
I wouldn't blame you if you missed it.
I was just like, dude, the Saved by the Bell scene where it's like Mr. Testaverde is
like the smoke coming from your
It's not I always say Mr. Testaverde, and it's not Mr. Testaverde, it's the other teacher who's the speed reader, and then Jesse Spano's like taking notes, and there's smoke coming off someone alert me to the name of this teacher. It was a one-off episode, but that's what that image always comes to me during an Elite match, is like that's me trying to take notes here during
Did you have the stopwatch?
No stopwatch. In fact, I was more so just going so Way brought his iPhone cord down here, and it was broken. So I lent you my cord, and then I forgot to get it back from you today. So I was down to like 40% at the start of the show, and then I put on low battery. I didn't tweet throughout the show. Like, I was trying to conserve energy. Yeah. I was down to like 12% at the press conference, and then David Bixenspan had a power supply and saved the day for me.
Coming through, Bix.
David Bixenspan, a huge MVP.
Wow, awesome. Thank you.
So it continues. Omega wants to be in with Pac. We saw, dude, Matt Jackson, like Spike, Ray Phoenix. Dude, he just came down vertically on his head onto the edge of the apron, just like insane. And then from there, the guys are on the floor. Nick Jackson climbs to the top rope with Penta, and he stands up Penta for a top rope Rana to the floor, and they land it seamlessly. Nick is on his back, and the camera catches him. You've never seen a dude with a bigger smile on his face than Nick, he has landed the move. I don't know what he was thinking. I would have asked him if they had showed him, or if they had brought him out after. But he had just the biggest grin on his face that he had hit this. It was just, it's like they knew, like, we're cooking here with this match.
Yeah.
And then we get the triple tombstone spot by the Death Triangle to the Elite several moments later, and then a Black Arrow combo into the Brutalizer on Omega. Omega's the one making the save, and then Pac hands the hammer to Rey Fenix. But it's not hammer time. He's clinging to his morality, and he throws it away, turns around, boom, knee strike by Kenny, Tiger Driver 98 for a 2 count, and then they triple super kick Penta, and Rey Fenix gets hit by the B trigger. Once again, Pac hands him the hammer as Kenny hoists him up for the one-winged angel, and Ray is trying to fight it, and he nails him with the hammer, and the roll-up pins Kenny Omega. Perfect. Like, just perfect, awesome ending. Yeah. It's like, even I was trying to, like, detect, like, if it was intentional, like, can I fight the one-winged angel? Like, this, can I try and stop this move? And I can't do it. Impossible. Boom. And it was even more impactful that it's Kenny that took the pin. Yeah. I thought this was just, this was my match of the night. I knew nothing was touching this. This was incredible.
It was my match of the night as well, and I'm assuming a lot of other people's. I don't know if I'd necessarily even put it together in my head that we were going to get a Lucha Brothers Young Bucks match. Because in my head, I'm just like, oh, elite.
I pointed it out. I told you, it's like the rivals, like Omega Pac, and then...
I guess it just, like, it didn't register to me, like, what it would look like in the ring until I actually saw them do it. You know, this is, of course, a legendary rivalry, and I think doing it in trios, like, fashion completely renews it, you know, as we'll get into.
This was my reaction, okay? It's like 1, 2, 3... and then turn, Brandon Thurston, they're not doing the press conference. That was the first thing. It's like the losers don't go to the press conference, of course. Like, I never thought of that at all.
And guess what? They're going to win the next one. They're going to win like 3 more times. And then, like...
That's the funny, we'll get into the follow-up on this, but your thoughts on the match beyond what you just said.
Man, dude, this match was like, I think everything I love about the Young Bucks style and, you know, by extension, the Kenny Omega style. Unbelievable athleticism and precision and speed. That's like I would deem superhuman. But beyond that, they add story into it. They add narrative into it. And it just,
the hammer was like,
I love it.
Great touch.
Yeah, absolutely. And they picked the perfect spots, you know, to like they teased like Phoenix's mental struggle wonderfully at the beginning. And then they had to pick the perfect moment for him to finally give in. The one-winged angel, the move that nobody will kick out of, the move that they know they will absolutely lose to.
So good.
And for him to do it in a perfect, beautiful spot, like it's almost like they had thought about all of this leading up to this particular. Sorry, we lost the camera here, but hopefully you guys can still hear me. We might have lost the video, but anyway, let me just switch.
You handle that. So an incredible match, and then later on in the night, they announced that it's going to be a best-of-7 series between Death Triangle and the Elite, with match number 1 being tonight and match number 2 happening this Wednesday on Dynamite in Chicago. So you are going to get rematches of this match on November 23rd, which is this Wednesday, November 30th, the next week on Dynamite. Then Winter is Coming on December 14th, December 21st, December 28th. They will skip a week on January 4th. And then if they need a 7th match, it'll happen at the Forum in Inglewood on January 11th. So, I mean, it's hilarious. Like, they are promoting a best-of-7 series with cities, and it's like, I think you've all but guaranteed they're going 7, and I don't think anyone's going to complain about that.
Yeah, I mean, I would hate to be in Los Angeles and them, you know, ending the series on a match 6, so I'm assuming...
I feel they're not going to do that. Yeah. That would be my guess.
I'm assuming it's going to 7, but still, we're all here for it. What a fucking, like, treat. And I think this, to me, was a real case of Tony Khan, like, really reading the room very well. I don't know if there are many rivalries and matches you can announce a best-of-7 for and have people, like, you know, be very happy. This is an exception. This is one of them. This is one you can do a best out of 100 for, because there's just every single one is just like, to me, this is the reason why you had a trios championship.
And we're going to instantly know what the return of the Elite means for live event ticket sales.
Yeah,
like, this is totally. Like, you're giving them pretty much the best possible trios matches you can on the next the next 6 of your, you know, upcoming 2 months of Dynamites.
It's a headlining act that now you're touring to all of these major cities. It again, to me, the reason why you create the Trios Championship is so that you can have the elite, headline shows with them. You can have the Death Triangle, headline shows with them.
So I'm guessing I don't know if they maybe they explained it on the broadcast and people can correct me.
Championship, you mean?
Or is it on the line each match, or is the winner of the best of 7 the Trios champions?
I did not hear on the broadcast, so I don't know. But today the title was on the line, was it not?
Yeah, it was. So you would think the title's on the line. This is like the Bellator Grand Prix, where it's the champion defends the title.
I would kind of hate that, like just because like by the end
you're gonna get a lot. You're gonna get like at least 3 title changes, if not more.
Yeah, I don't know if because the Death Triangle retained, they can kind of retroactively say, okay, whoever wins the entire series gets the championship. I would probably much prefer that. And I'm almost kind of looking at like these, this graphic here, and you get to see. Okay, so Sheev McQueen in the chat room says, winner of the 7 is the champ according to Dave. Okay, all right. So I much prefer that way of doing it, just so we don't kind of ruin the sort of like reign situation. But what a match! What a first match in a series of 7. How are they going to make this unique every single time? How are they going to like pull different tricks in different spots, for 7 different matches? That's a very tall task.
I'm not too concerned about it. Also, it's like there's going to be the natural speculation too of January 4th. Primarily just the question about like Kenny Omega. That would be, Tony was asked about it tonight at the press conference and said that, he is trying to make accommodations for New Japan. Rocky Romero was here. They've had discussions, but the big stars he needs back here. But I mean, I look at that January 4th and I would say Will Ospreay, to me, it's either Moxley or Kenny Omega. And I think Ospreay and Omega would be the biggest match that New Japan could get that would, to me, put the Tokyo Dome show over the top beyond Jay White and Okada, which I think really needs that number 2 match. And to me, there's nothing bigger you could do than Ospreay and Omega for that number 2 match on the show.
This probably increases speculation.
Yeah. I think it will. It's you can get by a Seattle show without Kenny Omega. I mean, it's a show that you have the depth that you can put together a kick-ass show on a Wednesday when you've got your Danielsons and a Darby in Seattle you certainly have the depth that you can make do for 1 week.
I have a strong feeling by the end of the 7 matches, the Elite will probably end with the championships, just so that you get to more dream matches with them and other trios. But in that time, the hope is for the Death Triangle to just really, really, be elevated into this sort of legendary trio, if not like, individually, all 3 of those guys elevating their rank that much more. Mm-hmm. Certainly they already got partway there tonight.
Do you expect a similar reaction for the Elite Wednesday when they return to Chicago?
Yes, I do. You mean, do I expect the fuck CM Punk chants?
I guess
that one's a lot tougher to say. Punk means so much to that city, and I don't know.
I don't expect that.
I don't expect that.
But I do expect like an overwhelmingly positive response for the Elite.
Yeah, I do.
And to be quite honest, for even like the anti-Punk sentiment, if CM Punk's music hit at any show,
of course,
it would be a lovin'.
Yeah. It's a sort of like, I don't know, trendy thing to chant to, let people know that you're in on the news, that you're in on the inside. And once that dies down, I mean,
a question I wanted to ask is was like being the Elite as well. Like, does that come back?
Yeah, Brandon Cutler was there, so you would assume so.
Yeah. Like it's been idle since September.
So you asked at the press conference about their responsibilities, and
Tony Khan indicated like it's the same EVP roles and backstage duties as before. Like they haven't been like nothing's changed on that front. So They're coming back like in the same capacity they were before the investigation.